What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is Carter Scotland Allen here, and today we're doing a slightly different video with the Stranger Things Season 4, Volume 2, Who Will Die predictions. Wow, that was a mouthful. But yes, we are predicting who's going to die, who's going to make it out alive of Volume 2 of Season 4 of Stranger Things. So let's not waste any more time and get into this tier list. So we have three categories here. We have dead meat right at the top, which obviously you can tell. If you're on this section of the tier list, you are dead. This character is biting the bullet. They're not coming back. Injury incoming. That's a character that, will make it out, but might get an arm cut off. I don't know. Maybe there's some characters in here that are full on like a psych out where you think they're going to die, just like Max, how we thought she was going to die in Volume 1, and she obviously didn't, and she still could in Volume 2. Steve could still die in Volume 2. So we're going to get right into it. So injury incoming. If you're on there, that means you're making it out, but you're probably going to have some bumps and bruises. And then, speaking of bumps and bruises, if you're safe, you have not a scratch. These people are people that I think are just going to be floating off around in Hawkins, doing their own thing, and aren't really going to have to confront Vecna. I hope that's not the case. I want everybody in this show to have some form of contact, not necessarily with Vecna himself, but the Upside Down. I think everybody in Hawkins, at least either in Season 4 or the beginning of Season 5, could really see and realize all this terror that's going on, and I just kind of want to see everybody lose their shit. But with that being said, let's rank all these characters, see who's going to live, see who's going to die, and see if maybe I'm right. Okay, so we're just going to start on the left and go to the right and work our way down. So here we have Andy, who is the school jock bully, he's on the basketball team with Jason and Lucas. Okay, he's hit or miss with me. I think he could die, and I think it would be cool to see a bunch of these smaller characters either die or get more character time, but Andy particularly, I don't think he'll have any more real screen time. I think if anything, he'll just be a background character, maybe reacting to a character's death. I think he lands on not a scratch. Next up, we have Angela, who is the bully in California who bullies Eleven, and I think she's dead. There is a theory online about the Stranger Things Volume 2 trailer, and there's some lightning strikes in the trailer, and the lightning strikes different letters, and there's a theory that each of those different letters is a different character. So the letters are T, W, and A, I believe, or no, it's J, W, and A. So I think A is Angela, and I think Angela is going to bite the bullet. I think she's been set up as this gross, mean, bully villain, and, we're going to see something in these last two episodes where her character gets redeemed and then immediately killed off by Vecna, which that's just me hoping, but it would be cool if we saw that happen. Another possibility for the death of the letter A is Argyle, but I don't think he will be killed. I think it could make sense for Argyle to be killed, but the only way that I think it would make real sense for Argyle to be killed, is if Argyle and Jonathan both die. And Jonathan starts with J. That's another person of who I think could possibly die, but we'll get into that later. He's all the way down there on the list, so we got a ways to go. But as for that theory, I think Angela, Argyle, Jonathan, and we've got the W, which I think W, that's Will, right? You think maybe Angela and Will die in the same time and 11 sees it all? I mean, there's so many different possibilities. Okay, with that being said, I'm going to put Argyle in injury incoming. I think he'll be a part of the fight. I think he'll get some good jokes in here and there, and I think he'll get scratched up, make a joke about it, and move on. I don't think he'll have too much to do, which isn't a bad thing. Moving on. All right, and Dr. Brenner. Okay, I'm just going to say it right now. I think Dr. Brenner's going to make it out alive of this season particularly, just because I don't feel like the Duffer Brothers would bring him back for this season to do that little, screen time in the first half of Volume 2 and then maybe possibly more in volume 1, maybe possibly more in volume 2. I think he's going to survive. I think he's going to have screen time in season 5. I don't see a reason why they would bring him back just to kill him that quickly. So I think he is injury incoming. I think 11 might hurt him, and then, she might, pretend, not pretend. She might be on her way to killing Brenner and then realizes what she's doing and stops. Next up, we have the sheriff, which I can't remember his name right at the moment, but I honestly think this would be a way to, one, build up the body count, but also it's a character that we've seen throughout the series, and killing somebody like this doesn't necessarily make the audience feel something like if 11 or Hopper were to die, but it just is another one of those things that adds tension and stakes. But that being said, I don't think he will be killed. I think he'll be not a scratch. Okay, and here we have probably my most controversial take on this list. Here we have Dustin, and I think Dustin is going to die. The reason why I think that is in season 3, Dustin and Steve are together, and they both say to each other, Dustin says to Steve, "If you die, I die." And that moment has stuck with me. I really do think that Steve and Dustin, they're two of the most likable characters in the show, and it really would pull at those heartstrings if you killed off Dustin and or Steve. But if you did both of them, holy shit, it would really rock the audience. And that's just kind of me hoping for that. I really do hope they kill Dustin. Dustin's got a girlfriend, his mom by herself. Like, this would have so much of a dark impact on the show, and the show's already dark as it is, but I want Dustin to die. And so for me, wanting him to die, I'm going to say, yeah, sure, maybe he will die. Is it likely? Probably not, but you know what? That's just me hoping. Next up, we have Eddie Munson, and I think this is obvious in the trailer for Volume 2. You can see him shredding on the guitar. I think that's him saving Nancy from Vecna, and then immediately after that, he's going to get killed. He's going to have his redeeming, awesome guitar ballad, and then bite the bullet. Simple as that. That's what I think is going to happen. We're going to put him right there in dead meat. Next up, we have 11. So 11 is a weird one because the Duffer Brothers had planned on killing 11 off in the first season and making it just a one-off wrapped up show. With the show going on to be 5 seasons, I think they could still use that ending at the end of the series. I don't think they'll do it with season 4 volume 2, because I think if you kill off 11 at the end of season 4 volume 2, it really is just going to make for a super, super depressing ending season 5, which I could see some depressing moments and some darker moments coming in the future, but I think this is just slightly too dark for what Stranger Things is and for what fans would want and like to see. So with that being said, I think I'm going to put 11 on injury incoming. They might do another fake out where you think she's going to die. She'll live, she'll beat Vecna, and then, or shit, maybe she'll lose against Vecna and then die in the beginning of season 5. But as of right now, I'm going to put injury incoming. Okay, next up we have Erica, which is Lucas Sinclair's brother. So Erica Sinclair, not a scratch. She's too likable. She's funny. She's new-ish. She didn't get too much time to really develop in season 3, in my opinion. So it is nice to see her in this. But again, I don't think she will die. If anything, I would think that they would kill Lucas. But we'll get to why I don't think that will happen and why I don't think that should happen in a little bit. Okay, next up we have Hopper, and okay, this is a simple one. He's not going to die. They did the fake out death at the end of season 3. If they kill him off again, there's going to be people thinking, "Oh, he's not dead again. He's not dead again." And that's just dumb. It's stupid. They shouldn't do it again. If they kill him off, it needs to be a grand finale kill, which is what they were leading towards in season 3, and then completely retcon that, which I know it was the plan, but still, I don't want to see it again. I'm fine with Hopper living. I don't want to see him die. And with that being said, honestly, I'm going to say injury incoming, even though it might just be like a punch, a bruise, like something like that. I don't think he will be in too much danger, that even though he's literally in Russia with Joyce and Murray. Next up, we have Jake. I believe his name is Jake, which is another character that I thought could be a possibility for the JWA theory about who will die. And Jake is Angela's boyfriend, so I thought that might be another way that this character could be, more involved, but still, I don't know, still adding to the body count. But if I really had to say something about it, this character hasn't had any real screen time, so I think seeing this character die wouldn't have too much of an impact. So with that being said, we're going to put him on Not a Scratch. Okay, here we have the one that I am actually really, really adamant on. So we just talked about Jake being the possibility for the JWA theory of who's going to die. But for the JWA theory, if it is true, I think it's Jason. I think Jason, again, just like Angela, he's the bully, and he hasn't had much time to show his true character and like his redeeming qualities. And I think that's what's going to happen is you're going to have Jason be this asshole, then immediately redeem himself after something. And then immediately after he redeems his whole character, he will end up being killed off by Vecna, or so I hope. Obviously, you see Lucas punch him in the trailer for Volume 2, which everybody's going to lose their shit over. But I think shortly after that, Jason's going to bite the bullet, Lucas is going to watch the whole thing, and it's really going to change shit for Lucas, for the group, and the way that the rest of the show unfolds. So, Jason, I'm putting under dead meat. So right now, as you can see, we've got 4, 4, and 4. Pretty even. Obviously, it's very even. But next up, we have Jonathan Byers. And I think Jonathan, he's a character that doesn't deserve to die, but makes sense to die. Because he hasn't had much character development in this newest season, other than the fact that he's a stoner now and isn't with Nancy anymore, really. Like, there's not much to his character other than, oh, hey, I'm not with Nancy, and I'm a stoner with Argyle. And it is funny. But I do think killing Jonathan would add to everything with Will and Joyce and would make their bond stronger. The only reason why I don't think this will happen and don't want this to happen is I think it puts too much stress and negativity onto the Byers family. I think killing Jonathan, it just makes Joyce's life so much worse because she already thought that she lost her youngest kid. Now she actually has to lose her oldest kid. I think it's a step too far. But based off of just predicting, I do think he will bite the bullet. Okay, and speaking of Joyce, we have her up next, and I'm going to put her in Not a Scratch. I know she's with Hopper, but I don't think she's going to die. I don't think she's going to get injured. I think her and Hopper are set for life. I think they are the pair that's good to go. They will be fine. They'll make it out of Russia. From Russia with love. Blah, 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 blah. They'll be okay. Moving on, we have Mrs. Kelly, who is the school therapist or counselor. And there's got to be something more to her. I mean, maybe not, but I think I could see the counselor who's been counseling all of these students who have gone on to die other than Max. I think she could be a good target from Vecna. Vecna targets her weakness and what's going on in her life, but we haven't seen any of that, so who knows. I'm going to go ahead and put Not a Scratch just because of what we've seen of her character so far. Next up, we've got Mike Wheeler, and I'm just going to go ahead and put him in Not a Scratch as well. I could put him in Injury Incoming, but overall, again, kind of like Jonathan, I don't feel like the characters of the California storyline, other than 11, have had too much real character development. Other than 11 and Mike's love banter that they have, there's not much for Mike to do this season, and that was a little bit disappointing for me. But I don't think he'll be injured because I think obviously he's gonna have some major playing character role in season 5. Next up we have Murray, and okay, Murray's dead. I'm just saying it right now. I think you have Murray, Joyce, and Hopper in Russia right now. I think obviously it's the third wheel. The third wheel is gonna bite the bullet. as they make it back. Maybe they as they're leaving Russia, they think they're good, and then Murray gets shot or something like that. Or maybe they make it all the way back to Hawkins and they think they're totally fine, and then the Russians track them back down to Hawkins and murder them there. But I do think Murray is biting the bullet. Next up, we have Nancy, and I think Nancy is injury incoming. As I said before, I think Eddie will be saving her from Vecna's curse, and so with that being said, I think she'll fall down, get a bump, get a scratch, get a bruise. I don't know, lose an eye, she'll get an eye patch. I don't know. But that's why Nancy is injury incoming. Next up, we have Robin, played by Maya Hawke, and Robin has been really great this season. I wasn't a huge fan of her in season 3. But honestly, her character development has been great, and her relationship with Steve is really entertaining. With that being said, I could see possibly Robin dying over Steve, but I don't want it to happen because I don't feel like it would have enough impact for the core the original audience, the people that are there for the original season, the first season. I think somebody from that first season needs to die, and yeah, we'll talk about it, but okay, I'm getting too far ahead of myself. We're just gonna stick with Robin. I think Robin's fine. I think injury incoming. She'll get a scratch. She'll get a bruise as she's trying to help Eddie save Nancy or something like that. But maybe she dies. I don't know. I think it could be cool. Okay, and next up we have Lucas Sinclair. And earlier I was saying there's a couple reasons why I don't think he will die and why I don't want him to die. So there's a lot of people speculating that Lucas will die in Volume 2 because of some of the way that the frames and shots look in the trailer. The reason why I don't think Lucas will or should die in Volume 2 is because of the fact that it kind of just does the same story beat between Max and Billy. Yes, I know that Billy was completely aggressive and he was a horrible brother to Max, but killing off Lucas to Erica, it kind of just feels the same. It just feels like, okay, well, we've seen that before, so I don't think any of the Sinclairs are going to have any damage, I should say. So I think both of the Sinclairs are going to be not a scratch type of thing. I think Lucas, obviously, he's going to have a scratch from getting into the fight with Jason. But other than that, I think he'll be fine from Vecna. Okay, so we have 6 characters left. Let's not waste any more time and keep on moving. Here we have Max, which I think Max, obviously, you had the big fake out in the first volume where I thought she was going to die, and I actually really was like, again, I was kind of hoping for it. I think a good, satisfying death is on screen is one of the most, I already said it, it's one of the most satisfying things. Seeing a well choreographed death with meaning and things like that, it always has an impact on me, and I'm always looking for that. So I don't think Max will die, though, because of the fact that they've already had her fake out. You killed her brother in season 3. I don't think it makes much more sense to kill her and then just leave her mom without a kid. Another reason, kind of like I was going back with Lucas, why I don't think Lucas will die. But that being said, I think she'll get an injury. She's down in the upside down. She's gonna get scratched by something. Maybe she gets bit by one of those Demobats. Next up, we have Dr. Owens. Here, I'm going to say Dr. Owens is dead. I think he has had so much time to grow without people realizing it that when he does die, it's gonna have a good impact. I really do like his character. I like the actor, and I think having a character like him die at the end of Season 4, Volume 2, with some of our core main characters would be a nice way of, again, adding to the kill count, adding a character that people feel for to the kill count, while still not taking away from, like, the main character's death that's going to happen. Because I think there's going to be a couple deaths within this Volume 2 finale. And I think we're either going to have 2 or 3 real significant ones. And I think we'll have Dr. Owens. I think there's going to be kind of levels of the way that the deaths go. I think it's going to be, the Angelas, the Jasons, where they're just there to add up to the kill count. And I think we're going to have a Dr. Owens where it's a surprise and it's sad, but it's okay. And then what I'm hoping for is somebody like Steve or like Dustin to bite the bullet, where it just makes everybody lose their shit, and I just want it to build up to that. So, that being said, I do think Dr. Owens is biting the bullet for sure, just don't know when or how, obviously. And moving on, we have Steve. Yes, everybody thinks Steve is going to die. I honestly kind of don't think Steve will die because of the way that they've been setting it up to make you think he's going to die. I do think it would be cool and it makes sense for him to die. But again, with that being said, his relationship with Nancy is starting to blend back together. And I just feel like if you're going to blend that back together only to rip it apart, like, what's the point? So I'm going to say Steve is injury incoming just because he's already scratched up. But I do think he will make it out alive. And the one thing I'm telling you, I'm hoping for is I want Dustin to be there when Steve is either about to die or something like that, and Dustin comes in, Dustin dies. Like, that is what I want. Because Dustin, for me, he's like the heart of the show. Everybody loves him. There's nobody that like dislikes Dustin. Moving on, we have Susie. Okay, this is an easy answer. Not a scratch. Don't even have to look at it. Like, she's barely a character. She was barely in season 3. That was a joke, a gag. So she's gonna be fine. Nothing like that. Okay, Will die? I don't know. I think killing Will is doing too much to Joyce and just rehashes what we've already seen in season 1. So I don't think Will is dead. And also based off of interviews that I've seen with Noah Schnapp, I don't think that Shap, whatever his name is, I don't think his character's dead, and I think he will be in season 5. So, I'm just going to say not a scratch. And then lastly, here we have, I think his name is Yuri. I don't know. If he appears again, I'm going to say dead. If he doesn't appear again, then he's obviously alive. So, I think he's dead. And that puts us at a relatively even score. You look at this, I've got 8 people plan to die, 8 people plan to get injured, and 10 people plan to, right? Is that right? 8. Oh yeah, 8, and 10. Wow. I can't do math. Either way, that's my predictions for Stranger Things Season 4, Volume 2, coming out this Friday on July 1st. Who will die? Let me know who you guys think will bite the bullet down in the comments below. I'm really curious. I'm really excited for the season, for the end of the season, and to see how it will end moving forward with the obviously long expected gap that we'll end up having in between season 4 and 5, because they always have a long gap. But thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you guys enjoyed my ideas, my predictions down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Carter Scotland Allen, and I will see you guys in possibly my Stranger Things Season 4, Volume 1 and 2 review. I don't know if I'm going to do it. If I really love the show, I'll probably do it. If I really hate it, then I'll probably do it. If I just feel meh, then you won't see anything, because if I feel meh about anything, I don't really have much to say. So, babbling once again. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Carter, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.